The New York Jets made a flurry of trades ahead of their preseason finale. Well, better late than never to address the defensive tackle position. We're going to react to all the trades, your phone calls. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, people. And oh my goodness, we did a short video yesterday and then a longer video about, whoa, the Jets might be interested in exploring the wide receiver market. Okay, all right, well, here we go. Maybe some names to consider. But we didn't hear about the defensive tackle interest. The Jets making a pair of trades yesterday. Oh my goodness, there's so much to get to and break down, and we will here on the program. And I'd like to wish a happy Thursday to all you guys. Tomorrow will be our game day show for the Jets-Eagles preseason finale, baby. We'll have our morning show with Bob Letterer previewing the game. And then that night, as soon as the final whistle blows, it'll be myself and Gunny Gumby with your post-game coverage. Very much looking forward to welcoming Gunny Gumby back to the show. So we've got a lot to cover, people. Let's waste no time, because look at this. To celebrate a double dip of New York Jets trades, our number one Austrian Jets fan is gifted 20 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Sweet Lord. All right, baby, rev up the engine.
Kevin James.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Let's go, Kevin James. Start your bleeping engines, and that is an unbelievable 147 raffle tickets for our number one Austrian Jet fan this month. Thank you for killing it, buddy. Here are the 20 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Then we'll get this party started. Fire Aaron Glenn, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. It's great to have you back. Johnny Jets 2343, Scotty 3836, Ryan King, Random Guy, Sco, Grand Peasy, Scott Collins, D-Royd D-Lax, Steve EV, the legend Bobby Midnight. Oh, Bobby's back. Great. Great to see. Prestige Worldwide, Jason Ratcliffe, Kamala NY, Bethpage Chris, Recipes with Reed, Mark Baylor, Boogie Down Dave, Dank Rumenacker, Ryan Mercurio. You guys are all now members to the Gosh Darn Boy Green Coffee Club, and thank your number one Austrian Jet fan for making it rain from the high heavens. So let's give a big shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan, baby.
That's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Folks, I'm fired up. And we're going to go through the trades. We have two full articles in the YouTube description down below with more details. Feel free to check those out. But I want to start here, okay? I don't like saying I'm right. That's not true. Of course I do. Hey, man, here's a statistic I'm going to throw up on the screen that I tweeted out yesterday. A total of 30 defensive tackles were selected during the 2025 NFL Draft. 30, yeah. Did you know that was the most defensive tackles drafted in a singular draft since the start of the 7-round format back in 1994? No, you didn't? Oh, well, I just provide fun facts. The Jets, the New York gosh darn Jets, didn't select a single one. And a lot of us were like, well, that seems sort of weird. Not a single one? There's a record-breaking amount of defensive tackles available, one of the deepest defensive tackle drafts in this century. And the Jets didn't take a single one. Huh, that's odd. And the Jets gave some weird answers after the draft of why they didn't. And I was like, all right, that seems weird. It sort of seemed like an obvious need, but all right. And I said, you know what? Maybe the Jets know more than I do. Certainly possible. A lot of people know more than I do. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, sure. And they signed all these random guys. J. Tufele. They had Fedarian Mathis, who was a waiver wire claim from last year. Byron Cowart. Derek Nadi. I added a couple of these guys. I'm like, boy, I hope that works. I hope that works. And on August 20th, a mere 2 weeks before the season, the Jets, Darren Muji, our general manager, our head coach, Aaron Glenn, went, now wait just a minute here. Let's go pick up some fat boys. And the fat boys are back. The fat boys are back. Real quick. I see Jared B asking an important question. Who are the two corresponding cuts? Well, actually, Jared B, it'll only be one corresponding cut. Remember, Chris Boyd was placed on injured reserve. So that opens up a roster spot. He's out for the season. So I believe, if my roster calculations are correct, there is only one corresponding roster move to come, and that should be coming here shortly, I'd imagine, from the New York Jets once they make that trade official with Harrison Phillips. So we'll see. Tom Pelissero seemed to say that trade will be official in a couple of days, so maybe that will give them some wiggle room as it pertains to this. So we'll see. But good question. But I will say this for the Jets. I will give them a tip of the cap. Better late than never. Right? They should have done this back in April. And they didn't. So their only other choice, well, they had two choices. Just say, hey, I'm not admitting that mistake. I'm just gonna plow along forward and hopefully it works out. Or say, you know what? We need to correct this before the season. And they did it aggressively, and I like it. So again, 30 defensive tackles were selected in April's draft. That's the most ever since 1994 because that's a 7-round format. So I don't want to say most ever when there was like 15 rounds. It certainly could have been more then. But since the 7-round format, since I was 1 year old, okay, that's the most defensive tackles we've ever seen in a single draft. And they talked about the strength, the depth, and the Jets didn't take one of them. And I'm like, wow, that seems odd. And now they do an old discount double check. So we're going to go through both of them here. First off, let's go with the first trade of the day. We didn't even know there would be multiple, but let's go with the first trade of the day. All right, the Jets strike a trade with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns receive a 2026 6th-round draft choice. The Jets receive a 2026 7th-round draft choice, originally from the Buffalo Bills, and Jowon Briggs, the defensive lineman. So what do? A pick swap. So basically, they move a little bit later in the 2026 NFL draft at the end of the draft. Instead of picking 180, they're going to pick 210. That's basically the gist. So they picked up Jowon Briggs for free. They didn't have to give up anything. They didn't have to give up a pick. They just swapped. They're going to have the same amount of picks at this point. We'll get to other trades in a second to pick up Jowon Briggs. So great for business. And to explain this to people that may not understand, like, what's all this late pick swapping around? What does it all mean? Well, on Tuesday, August 6th, every team in the National Football League must cut down its roster from 90 players to 53. And normally what happens is, teams cut their players, and then the next day is waiver wire claim day, and that's when the players will get claimed by the new teams. However, you can skip the line if you do what the Jets did yesterday. They identified Jowon Briggs and said, hey, he'd be pretty good. Sounds like the Browns are going to cut him. You know what? Instead of hoping we land Jowon Briggs, because the Jets have the 7th overall pick and waiver wire priority because of having the 7th overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, which means every player that gets cut, the Jets will have the 7th best odds to land that player as long as one of the 6 teams in front of them in the draft order do not claim this player. If they don't, the Jets can get him. And again, and again, and again, and again. However, it's important to note, whatever player you claim, and if you are successful in your waiver wire claim, you must immediately create a corresponding roster spot. So there's a lot of unknown next week. So instead of waiting for next week, they're just like, screw this. Let's see if we can make some moves right now to pick up some players. And they did in Jowon Briggs. So with Jowon Briggs, interesting guy, very interesting guy. 23 years of age. He's an Ohio boy, born and raised. That's where he is. He went to college at Cincinnati. He actually spent the first couple of years of his collegiate career at Virginia before jumping over to Cincinnati, and he crossed over with Sauce Gardner as a teammate for 1 year at Cincinnati. His first year at Cincinnati was with Sauce Gardner. He ended up being a 7th-round pick by the Cleveland Browns, 243rd overall. And boy, if you look at some of the preseason highlights of what the Browns fans are saying, the Jets just benefited from a room that seemed incredibly deep. Excellent. And you look at some of those preseason statistics and analytics, he seems like he's a pretty good run stuffer. And here's this, because Seth Walder graded all the trades in the NFL yesterday. There was a flurry of activity. And here it is. Here's what Seth Walder had to say about Jowon Briggs. He was acquired from the Browns with a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round pick. He should not be totally overlooked. In a tiny sample last year, he posted a 53% RSWR, which is basically the run rate. Run-stop-win rate, excuse me. Let me say that correctly. That is run-stop-win rate. He posted a 53% run-stop-win rate, which, as Seth Walder described, is excellent. It was a limited sample size, only 59 run plays, but he said the Jets saw something, and he could be a useful depth player with some future upside. So, hey, Jowon Briggs, you could stop the run. Welcome to the New York Jets, buddy. Welcome to the New York Jets. And this guy is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. A video was going viral yesterday of him bench pressing 180-pound dumbbells. Good Lord. So, hey, man, that's more than I could say. So you want to put him in there? Great. And yeah, as Alon says here, excuse me, Jets usually take naps after round 5, so 6th-rounders are meaningless. I wouldn't say that, there's been a couple of examples like Quincy and Nunez of the world, but it's not even about that. What I was going to say is, for anyone complaining about late-round picks, what are we talking about here? We're about winning now, trying to win now. 6th-round picks don't help us right now. Screw the 6th-round picks if you could get players that can help. So in this case, you didn't lose any picks, just a pick swap. That's it. So Jowon Briggs, come on down. And so that's one roster spot. So let's put that aside. Jowon Briggs, welcome to the Jets. Again, big boy, 23 years of age. He turns 24 in a couple of days here, Jowon Briggs does. And seems incredibly strong. Country strength. All right, come on down, brother. All right, let's go to the next one here. From Adam Schefter. And this is a name none of us had to Google. I don't know about you guys, but I know I didn't. Here's another trade. The New York Jets struck another trade. DJ Khaled, right? Another one. Harrison Phillips of the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings sent Harrison Phillips in the 2027 7th-round pick to the Jets for a pair of 6th-round picks. One in 2026, one in 2027. It is all pending a Harrison Phillips physical. I'll tell you this. I didn't need to Google Harrison Phillips. I remember that bastard. He was super annoying on the Buffalo Bills. Super annoying to play against. Annoying. When he's on the other side, you hate it. When he's on your team, hey, welcome to the squad. Harrison Phillips, man, is a dude. He's a dude. The Jets got the starting defensive tackle for the last 3 years from the Minnesota Vikings in Harrison Phillips. He was a monster with the Buffalo Bills against us. Mostly known as a run stuffer more than a pass rusher, has 8 sacks in his career. But he can make some noise. This was a wonderful one. I can't believe that the Jets got him, but from what we're told, Seth Walder talked about it as well. Minnesota had a, quote, defensive tackle surplus. They brought in Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave this offseason. They have young depth as well. That in the combination with Vikings being an NFL high $66 million over the cap in 2026 made Phillips a luxury for the Vikings. They felt they could part with for a little draft capital and a few millions in savings, considering their position understandable. So the Jets benefited from another situation here. And not only is Harrison Phillips good, and he is absolutely good. He's 29. He's rock solid. Here are some of the numbers. We have some of the analytics here on Harrison Phillips. He's been primarily a nose tackle in his career, though he has played a fair share of 3 technique too, according to Seth Walder. He's been a top run defender. He ranked in the top 10 in run-stop win rate among interior defenders in both 2021 and 2023, with respective rates of 41 and 42% in those seasons. He did drop off that category last year with an average 32% run-stop win rate. He doesn't give you a ton as a pass rusher, but Williams' job is clear on the Jets. And there you go. And here's the other thing. So I already thought I see the draft picks here. I'm like, all right, nice trade for the Jets. Very nice. I really love this addition. And then I see this. Here's another nugget from Adam Schefter. As part of the trade, the Vikings agreed to pay $3.7 million of Harrison Phillips' $7.4 million this season. So the Jets not only got the perfect guy they were looking for and a run stuffer to pair next to Quentin Williams. Say hello to your new starter next to Quentin Williams. How you doing, pal? We're getting him for a discount. Unfriggin' believable. And it's not just a one-year deal. He had a 2-year, $15 million left on the deal, including this season and next season. So this season, he's under contract for chump change. And then the Jets, if he plays very well, the Jets could very much bring him back next year. So this is perfect. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Again, I say better late than never. The Jets needed defensive tackle help. I was a little uncertain. I mean, Jay Tufele had that really great game against the Packers, and I'm like, ooh. But Byron Cowart's been hurt for weeks. This just makes me feel a lot better about the depth. Because here's the thing. Every time you acquire a defensive tackle, everyone else that was higher on the depth chart goes one rung lower. So the Jets acquired 2 defensive tackles here. Everyone else goes one rung lower, which, again, increases the overall depth. Now, it'll be interesting. Here's the question, right? Who is going to be the defensive tackle that gets thrown out of the club? I doubt they had 2 defensive tackles, so they don't throw one of them out. And I'm not talking about one of the ones they just traded for. I mean one of the other ones on the team. So we will see who gets their walking papers. We'll see. Is Darren Muji done cooking? Carson Gibbs on Twitter says, would be a nice day for a wide receiver trade. Oh, is there a wide receiver trade cooking underneath the surface? Is Darren Muji cooking? I'm curious. Very curious to see. Scotty Mayhem says, Quinnen got a Robin. Yeah, I don't want to go too far. I think Harrison is rock solid, and he's going to be rock solid. He's Robin is a sidekick. Yes. Okay. That's a good way to put it, Scotty. Yeah, he's a Robin. I've seen a lot of those Romeo Doubs rumors, the Green Bay Packers receiver. We'll see. We'll see who that player is. Maybe it's someone lesser. Maybe it's someone bigger. We don't know. I love this. Absolutely love this. So great depth on the defensive line. I'm glad the Jets are jumping on top of this. I think Jowon Briggs is a young player with upside. That's how I think it's proper when you make trades or trades happen for your team that you have proper expectations for the players. Jowon Briggs is a young player with a ton of upside. I like it. He's shown good in limited opportunities. So, hey, he can stop the run, it looks like. Shown a couple of plays in the preseason. I've seen those all over Twitter of film junkies breaking it down. Wonderful. Great. Harrison Phillips, your expectation should be much higher. He's, again, been a full-time starter at nose tackle / defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings for the last 3 years. Before that, he was a key cog of the Buffalo Bills, and they, again, were super annoying. I remember Harrison Phillips. And for all the wrong reasons. Like, damn it. I hate playing against this guy. And now he's on our team. I'm like, sweet. So your expectations for Harrison Phillips should be much higher. And then let's see what happens with Jowon Briggs. Let's see. And I would also say this. Think about the other guys on the defensive line. Jermaine Johnson apparently went off crazy yesterday in the final public practice at training camp. So he's looking better than an advertised. You have Quentin Williams. He returned to camp this week. You obviously got Will McDonald who's coming. Like you got all those plus the defensive tackle she added. This defensive line got a lot stronger yesterday. A lot stronger and much needed bolstering before the season. I like it. Absolutely like it. So we'll see. Is a wide receiver trade coming? Who knows? Who knows? Make sure you guys hear something I do know. Like the video, hit subscribe, baby. We got 200 plus people in the gosh darn room. Let's go. And it's 232 right now. 117 of those are on YouTube. 114 of those are on Twitter. And then we've got a couple more on Facebook. So, people, if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you guys hit that like button. Suplex the like button. Take the like button to Pound Town, whatever you say, because the math doesn't math. We only have 27 likes. There's 117 people in the room right now. How the hell does that make any sense? So, come on now. Hit that like button. It's free to do. Don't be afraid. Don't be gentle. Smack it around a little. Come on now. Hit that like button, baby. Yes. Make sure you do so. Support the show. Helps get the show in front of others. We're getting closer and closer to 8,000 subscribers, baby. We're 100 away. 100. Actually, might be 101, to be honest with you. But still, we're getting closer and closer to 8,000 subscribers. So join the army while you still can, baby. Let's go. A couple of other questions here. Gucci Finesse. Is there a wide receiver we're overlooking that could be traded? Absolutely, it could happen. Sure. Happens all the time. Again, a couple of years ago, I'm not advocating for this now, but a couple of years ago, right, Tyreek Hill came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, we all, as Jet fans, are on the edge of our seats. Holy shit, are we going to get Tyreek Hill right now? And then we didn't. But he came out of nowhere. It was just like, hey, he could be available. The Jets are in it. And I'm like, oh, jeez. And I was on the edge of my seat like, oh, my God, what's about to happen here? And, hey, I think it worked out for the better because we ended up with some guy named Garrett Wilson instead. That was pretty good. Pretty good. So thank you to the gods for that one. And all the problems Tyreek Hill's having. But he's a dynamic player, obviously. So is there a surprise wide receiver that suddenly becomes available that we're not thinking about? Absolutely, that's possible. Absolutely, that's possible. Yes. Who is that player? I don't know. You know, I'll tell you, I did that YouTube video. If you guys didn't see it, check it out on your own time. But I said the top 5 wide receivers. So the rumor comes out from Diana Rossini. It says, hey, man, Jets are looking to trade. So I'm like, oh, for wide receivers. I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, let me throw a video together and sort of look around the league. So I pulled up the ESPN depth chart, and I went through all 31 teams, obviously not including the Jets, all 31 teams, and checked out their wide receiver rooms. Went, huh. Okay. And took notes. I have all my notes right here. I took. And I went, oh, okay. And I listed players that were sort of interesting. Like, maybe they trade this guy. Maybe they trade this guy. And I went through not that I wanted this guy, but like I just put him on an aside. I didn't even mention him in the honorable mention section. I'm like, would they trade like a Sky Moore? And then they traded him yesterday, the San Francisco 49ers. Like, all right. Nice job, Paul. Way to identify that one. I didn't want Sky Moore, so cool beans with me as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah, man. So there's probably somebody we're not thinking about. And maybe we'll get it. Let's keep going here. Oh, yeah, NC Green. Again, I can't pound the table enough for Jadeveon Clowney. I cannot pound the table enough. I want Clowney bad. I wanted him for months. Quite frankly, I've wanted him for years. He is elite against the run. He would provide depth in the defensive end room. Jets, I've asked. EZ has asked. He's on with me with Jadeveon Clowney. NC Green's with me on Jadeveon Clowney. I would love Clowney. I would love him. I would imagine with the Jets' recent investments in defensive tackle over the last 24 hours, I imagine their focus is probably now at wide receiver. But I'm telling you, man, Clowney would be wonderful. Maybe he's asking for too much money. I don't know all the logistics of what's going on here, but he's available, and he should not be available. He is a NFL player. So I would love Clowney. I think you guys know my stance on Clowney. But we'll see. Yeah, I've seen people say Alec Pierce could be another wide receiver we're not thinking about. Maybe. I've heard other people talk about him, so I guess he's someone's thinking about. But, well, yeah, let's see. We'll have to look around. See, is there a receiver underneath a rock that we're not thinking about? That could be possible. Hey, let's do this. We've got nearly 300 people in the room. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's open them up early, and let's try to get to as many of your phone calls as possible here on the show. A Hep song, more coming up here on Boy Green Daily on a Trade Darren Muji Day. Let him cook.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Yes, as you heard from Hep there. You know, the phone lines are now open. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into the program, feel free to do so. Take full advantage as the pinned comment on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, you have to hop on over to YouTube to be able to call into the show. I'd like to give a special shout out to the people that rewatch the show after the fact. They don't get up early. That's fine with me. Any way that you enjoy the show is copacetic. And also for the audio-only listeners out there in the universe, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, there's 2 shout-outs I want to do, and we'll get to your phone calls, I promise. First off, number 1, anytime you spend $3 here on the channel, $3, 3 George Washingtons, you have a chance to win all of these prizes on the screen. These 4 prizes that are currently on your screen, and I'll describe it for our audio-only listeners, is available. If you just spend $3 on the channel, you have a raffle ticket to win all of this. We're going to give away a random vintage Jets player t-shirt, a blast in the past. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. You got a New York Jets Highland Mint Super Bowl III flip coin. That is flashed in 24 karat gold. It is a limited edition NFL coin. It's beautiful. Like I said, I wish I wouldn't be giving it away because I want to keep it. I only have one of them. A New York Jets logo athletic prime hoodie t-shirt, which is great. And then an item that was donated to this was from Bubba Badshaw. It is Kickoff Kitchen Cookbook. That is from Super Bowl chef Tim Lopez. And 64 game day recipes, 2 recipes for every team, entrees and appetizers. It's terrific and a great thing to do as we're getting Jet Steelers. Peek at the Steelers part of the cookbook. Maybe cook up some items because the Jets are going to be eating the Steelers week 1. And maybe you could be eating some of their food too. Who knows? So just want to show you guys the items you're bidding for when you gift channel memberships or super chats or what have you, which, by the way, if you're interested in doing any of those things, there's a money sign if you're watching on YouTube. Click that and a bunch of options pop up for you to do super chats, membership gifting, and all kinds of things. Or you can just join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's in the YouTube description down below for just $3. So feel free to do so. That is part of our YouTube community. You get a loyalty badge next to your I can't speak today, next to your name. And you get access to our custom emojis. You get access to our Discord channel. You get a raffle ticket for all those prizes. It's a pretty good deal. And then here's something beyond my selfish, hey, spend stuff on my channel so, I can pay my bills. That's a pretty good pitch. But here's another pitch that goes well beyond me selfishly. And I want to throw this up. For those who watched the show over the weekend, you saw me introduce this out to the universe, but I'd like to introduce it again. The Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project 50/50 raffle. Hop on Pop, of course, is my father. He is a longtime military person. He spent 20 years in the United States Navy, and my brother spent 4 years in the Marines, and I have family all over the place that have been in Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines, everywhere else in between. So military blood runs through me, and it's a very important cause to both me and my father. And my pop came up with this idea, and I'm glad that we put it all together for you guys here. So here's what we're doing. And this contest is running all the way through Saturday, October 4th at midnight, okay? So going through that point. If you guys would like to, and let me explain that this thing on our screen right now, it's $1 raffle ticket. So every $1 you spend, you have a chance to win the entire prize pool of what we're going to be talking about here. But obviously, it's for charity, so I hope you guys can spend even more if you can. So we're doing a 50/50 raffle. 50% of the proceeds are going to the Wounded Warrior Project. The other 50% are going to the winner, whoever gets selected from this group. So that's how it's going to work. We will draw the winner live at our Jets Cowboys tailgate on Sunday, October 5th in the parking lot. Again, 50% of the proceeds go to the Wounded Warrior Project, 50% of the proceeds go to the winner. And the top donator, because all the time you'll see on my raffles and giveaways that the top donator doesn't always win our prize pack. Hey, that's what it is, man. It's random. It's a random wheel spin. But for this giveaway, and because it's for charity, the top donator from this contest will receive a very special surprise gift package, which will include some NFL autographed items. So it's a special treat. If you guys would like to be involved in this, here's how it works. And I want to make this clear. None of the money you spend on my channel in terms of membership, super chats, gifting, or anything goes towards this. This is a completely separate item, and we're trying to keep it separate on purpose. So if you guys would like to be involved in that 50/50 raffle, where money's going to the Wounded Warrior Project and all that other jazz, there are 2 ways you can pay, and both of them are through my father. So his Venmo is at PAUL-ESDEN. Again, that's his Venmo, is Paul-Esden. Or you can hit him up on PayPal at HopOnPop22. That logo on the top right of your screen is his logo on both, to make sure you know you're sending it to the right place. Just describe who you are. If you're Green Bean, if you're Indy Jets, however you describe yourself, make sure you do that in the description of the payment to my father. Again, raffle tickets are $1 a piece. You can gift as much as you want or as little as you want. Every little bit helps. So please make sure you do that. Again, 50-50 raffle, Wounded Warrior Project. My father will give an update this coming weekend, but I'll tell you, we've already raised a couple $100. So that's very meaningful, and I appreciate you guys dipping into your pockets for an important charity. So there you guys go. Continue to check in on this. My father will be on the show on Saturday as we recap the preseason finale for Jets Eagles. Very much looking forward to that. All right, let's jump over to the phone lines, baby. One of our favorites, Kyle Clifton's back on the show. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, BG? I don't begrudge them not taking a defensive tackle in the April draft if their board didn't match up.
Mhm.
I think we all thought that they would,
Yeah.
considering the wealth of talent there. Um, you could question whether there were opportunities to trade back and get more lottery tickets and maybe do it that way. Um, if you're dealing with a young team that's on the come up and you're trying to add young players and competition, that's usually the way to do it. But you got to commend them for being able to pivot and realize that there's a weakness. And I think that's why they kept their powder dry. They kept the salary cap room. They thought they had some stuff in the DT room. Maybe it didn't shake out. But I always thought that they were going to have an opportunity because of that draft class to get some guys around this time where they might be able to get them either at cut downs or via pre-cut down trades. Financial moves like you see with the Vikings. This is really encouraging behavior from Muji. I think that there's more likelihood that you're going to see a tight end to supplant
Ooh.
Ruckert
All right.
after cut downs, because I think that wideouts are just at such a premium. Even guys that are further down the draft chart, depth chart. But I mean, even if we add somebody like,
Yeah.
it might not be a 2 or a 3. It could be someone who's a 4 or a 5 in our room, and that improving the room should be a priority. I just don't know if the opportunity is going to be there.
Well, I want to start off right off the top. That's great forethought by you, because it makes sense, but I didn't even think about it at the time, right? So I throw that stat up. 30 defensive tackles were selected in April's draft, most in 30 years in a draft, which is crazy because, we just talked about, how would value not have met up once of the 30 slots? It seems incredibly unlikely with how many picks they had, but fine, whatever, it didn't happen. But that if 30 new guys are coming in, and mostly everyone, that it's not 100% true, obviously. There's draft picks that get cut all the time, but most of those 30 are going to be making those teams. So that means 30-ish veterans may suddenly become available who weren't going to become available. So, hey, great forethought by the Jets. And here's this: the ability to pivot, right? For whatever reason, they either, whatever happened that they didn't draft one of those guys, they thought they had a plan, or they thought it was underwhelming and said, hey, maybe the right thing's going to break later. Great on them to admit it, because a lot of people don't like to, people in the world, they don't like to admit mistakes or errors or whatever you want to call it. And they could have just rode into the season with what they had, Kyle, and then we'd see what happens. I'm glad, even if it's 2 weeks before the season, hey, better late than never. Grab your guys, make some moves, make it happen. And they paid a inconsequential price for these guys. Hey, amen. I'm all about it. And I don't mind the tight end. You mentioned the tight end thing. Again, Jeremy Ruckert has shown me not a whole heck of a lot, but because of the lack of options in the room, I think he's like a roster lock unless they get someone else here who's viable. And I wanted that kid who ended up going to Buffalo. Oh my God, his name's going to escape me.
Jackson Hawes.
Thank you very much. That's exactly it. He's 100% who I want. I'm like, why? He just seems like a 10, 15-year guy that's just going to be there forever doing his job. Why in God's green earth do we not get him? So if he shakes free from Buffalo, I'd be all over him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know the draft is all about taking advantage of inefficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that they prioritize other positions in the early rounds. Like they saw right tackle as a glaring need. They saw tight end as a glaring need.
Yeah.
They saw, why cornerback is a outstanding value in the third, and they felt like they needed to add some speed at wide receiver. So it's just the late rounds where I think that they probably could have been a little bit more efficient. you
For
know,
sure.
but it's their first draft together. I'm sure that they're going to grow, and I'm sure they're going to get better. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. Good calls. Yeah, that's also true. If you walk through sort of their process, right? So first round, Armand Membu. Okay, totally makes sense. Second round, Mason Taylor. People thought he would be a late first round pick, so good value there. Third round, of course, Azareye'h Thomas. Coming out of the Senior Bowl, people thought he was a first round pick, and then he runs a kind of slow 40 time. People were like, he falls. And then Arian Smith is the guy at 110 overall, the speedster. So again, you could sort of see boom, 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 how it went. So there's something to be said for that. All right, we got super chats and other things. I'll get to those in just a moment. Let's get another phone call in. Hep joins us here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. How you guys doing today?
Hey, excited. Surprised. I didn't know this was going to happen. Ari Meirov did a good job of, he's an NFL insider for the 33rd team and a couple other places. He mentioned that, hey, man, we're off to the races on these kinds of trades, that teams are getting ahead of cutdown day next week, and they're going to flip late round stuff to guarantee they get the guys so they don't have to wait out for the bidding war. They can just get their guy now. So maybe more deals to come here, Hep.
Yeah, what do you think? Are you thinking we're going to maybe pick up a wide receiver? Any other positions you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle just mentioned it, how wide receivers that are at a premium, so maybe that'll be difficult to pull off, and that could be true. Tight end certainly would make sense to bolster the room, because if Mason Taylor gets hit by a bus, I do not feel good about the guys that are coming after him. So that part concerns me a little bit. But to be honest, one of my biggest concerns heading into the season was defensive tackle. So I feel absolutely over the top now getting the guys that we did yesterday, because, again, not only did you get those guys, which Harrison Phillips, I think, is a real guy that we should be like, whoa, and circle that when he fits exactly what we need. And Jowon Briggs is an interesting dart throw that's shown a little bit of pop. So why not? I'm all cool. I'm definitely cool with that. But yeah, it's wide receiver, probably it's tight end, and then something with quarterback, because
Right.
there's all these whispers about Tyrod Taylor, like, maybe he'll be ready for week 1, but maybe not. Even the Jets media team, they were doing a live looking at practice, and they brought up the topic. They said, if Tyrod's good to go, and just the way they're saying it makes me go, man, it does not sound like Tyrod Taylor is going to be ready. So what's the plan? Is Brady Cook going to be one snap away from getting into that game? Is Adrian Martinez one snap away from getting into that game? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, we've seen this song and dance before, so I just want to be prepared for that. So maybe there's another quarterback play to be had here for depth.
Sure.
I don't know.
I saw the 411 on Phillips is that he's nasty, and
Oh
that
my God. Yes.
the Minnesota Viking fans are pissed off that he's gone. He was like a favorite over there, so that's a good sign. And like you said, the other kid has a lot of upside, possibly. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm a little nervous about the Pittsburgh game, the Steeler game, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Green Bean is going to that game.
Oh,
and
boy.
Green Bean hasn't seen a winning game in, like, I think 15 years or something like that. I think he's like maybe like a bad luck charm or something.
Okay, so you're saying we need to trap Green Bean in a minivan for 3 hours on Sunday, September 7th, to make sure he doesn't go in there. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Either that or get him off the snide somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, right, or that. This is what I say to people all the time, and they laugh at me, right? So, like, again, I go to stores all the time. I'm always wearing Jets, and people give me all that shit about wearing Jets, and then they're like, God, Jesus, like, dude, it hasn't happened in forever. So I said, so we're due, and they're like, okay, man, get out. We're due. Green Beans due. We're due. A lot due. Lots due here. So that's got to be a positive, I would imagine. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Appreciate it, Hap. Thank you for the call. We got to be due, right? Terrible things just can't keep happening to us. It's got to turn around. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's get a massive super chat here on the show, and your guys' favorite sound. It's my daughter's Raya Luna. Wow.
Wow.
All right, Big Country 87, thank you so much for the $20 super chat here. BG, did you hear about the Jets having a secret practice Saturday? Garrett Wilson leaked it out on Twitcher. There's no assistant coaches. Can you dig some stuff up? Heard it on Two Brows and a Cup of Joe on Fox Sports. Yes, as a matter of fact, we're going to immediately jump over, and I will give you all those details now. Rich Cimini wrote a beautiful piece about that for ESPN, and we're going to pull some of those highlights live here on the show to talk about it, about them running a secret practice. And it was on Sunday, not Saturday. So here are a lot of the details. And shout out to ESPN's Rich Cimini for this. So thank you, Big Country. And by the way, let me just get the raffle ticket total up. You're up to 10 raffle tickets now, based on your previous combinations as well. So salute, sir. Let's go through this secret practice. The New York Jets held a practice Sunday. There was no media present, no assistant coaches, and it was just Aaron Glenn and the players. The players conducted their own drills and called their own plays. On the offensive side, it was Justin Fields. On the defensive side, it was Jamie Sherwood. To your point, word of the practice leaked a couple days ago because a handful of veterans said they'd never been involved in a player-driven practice. So, according to the bylaws, right, the Jets could have gotten in trouble for this. This is the sneaky part. The Jets could have gotten in trouble for this for running extra practices, even if it's players only. So it could have gotten all kinds of hoopla. So the team clarified it wasn't a practice; it was a walkthrough. And just to put those details out, wink, wink, for extra practice reps and things of that nature. So it's just semantics. But anywho, so they all ran it, and players had all kinds of things to say. Cornerback Brandon Stevens told Rich Cimini, quote, "Is personally different for me because I've never experienced that, having no coaches out there. It was great for us to lead the group by ourselves," end quote. Josh Myers, who joined the Jets after coming over from the Green Bay Packers, said, quote, "There was something that was new to me. For all intents and purposes, it felt like a practice, just player-led," end quote. Rich Cimini noted in his piece that Aaron Glenn might have pulled a page from his old mentor's playbook, Bill Parcells, because in the 90s, I remember hearing this story. I think it's in his book that I have behind me. Bill Parcells was so angry at practice that he and his coaches stormed off the field, which left the players by themselves, and it was a ploy by Parcells to motivate the players. Aaron Glenn was on that team, so they run their own practice. Oh, you're not going to listen to us? Fine. We're bailing, go on their own. And it was like a tactic to try to see if it would work. And it all comes full circle on this player-led practice because Aaron Glenn friggin' let them have it after they lost 31-12 against the New York Giants in the Week 2 preseason game. Now, it's not because of the result of the preseason game, but it was the way they lost. It wasn't that they lost. It was the way they lost. The Jets got pistol whipped. They were looking questionable. They were out of place. All the Giants quarterbacks looked good. I think AG was so pissed that obviously, that energy, that hoopla, that everything went to the players. So, and here's some cool behind the scenes for Rich Cimini. So Sunday's practice was supposed to be open to the media. It was supposed to be. And then a week ahead of time, the Jets removed it from the schedule and called it a walkthrough. And media cannot be at walkthroughs. Those are closed to the media. So it was interesting how they sort of put all those pieces together. The Jets tried to keep all of this under wraps, to your point, Big Country, but Garrett Wilson accidentally let it sneak out when he did an interview with social media influencer Megan Patricia. I don't know who that is. And they said that practice walkthrough, quote unquote, went at it for about an hour, end quote. And players said they enjoyed the experience and all that other jazz. So super cool. You love to hear it. Aaron Glenn said the best teams, apparently he was saying this to the players, that the best teams are player-led. Now, we heard that a few times during the Robert Saleh regime, and unfortunately, the inmates ran the asylum. You heard Tony Adams say this a couple weeks ago, that, hey, man, the coaches told us about the penalties and to clean it up, but we just didn't listen. So, it's going to be on execution here. It's a cool story. It's fascinating to me. Aaron Glenn is hitting all the right buttons here in the offseason, it appears. And I heard this other thing. Rich Cimini wrote that piece this morning, I believe, where Aaron Glenn did a presentation to the team, and he brought up moments of his career in coaching and saying, hey, look, we started here and then we got here as a player too, right? They lost all these games when he first got there. He was drafted in the first round of 1994. And then they eventually turned around with Bill Parcells. So he talked about we started here and we got here, and explained in intricate detail how they got from A to B. In New Orleans, we sucked and we went from here to here. Obviously Detroit, we started here and went to here, and he gave all these vivid examples and all kinds of things. Rich Cimini has a full column on it. I believe it dropped this morning or late last night. You guys should totally check it out if you haven't. So Big Country, hearing this kind of stuff is exciting. Again, this is the off season, and I will repeat this because I think it's worth mentioning. That you should be excited as a fan. It's the offseason. Don't let anybody tell you different. There's a lot of Jet fans, and they're in my mentions on social media saying, hey, Paul, shut up. Stop being so excited. Let's wait to see it. Let's wait to see it. Let's wait to see it. Why do I have to wait to see it? I can be excited if I want to. That's what the offseason's all about. Everyone's 0-0. Now's the perfect time to get all hyped up and built up for week 1. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I'm not going to force other people to do something they don't want to do. But for me, I'm going to enjoy the bleep out of this, man. And by the way, Big Country 87, you are $1 away from another raffle ticket. So you can just keep that in mind at some point here throughout the rest of August to send that along. But I'm fired up, man. And I think, I certainly am. Again, I won't make you guys feel however you're going to feel. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm super fired up about it. And it is freaking awesome, man. It's freaking awesome. And we should all be pumped up. We should all be pumped up. But like I said, I won't tell you guys how to feel. You guys can feel however you want to feel. But Big Country 87, you are firmly in the raffle, baby. You got 10 gosh darn raffle tickets. We love to friggin' see it. We used to keep only a top 5 leaderboard on the scrolling ticker, but I've gone crazy. We got to get a top 14 leaderboard, for God's sakes, with what's going on here. But Big Country 87, thank you very much. Good super chat there. All right, let me do some more catching up here on things that we missed. Good call, by the way, from Kyle. Appreciated that. And Hep. Good stuff. Look at this DIY for life, baby, with a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's go. It's 30 raffle tickets this month for our boy, Devin, a.k.a. DNY for life. And every time 5 raffle tickets or more are purchased in this manner, we have no other choice but to do some of this. Jets, Jets, baby. Come on, let's get one of those from the high heavens. Wait, I'm fired up, baby. Let's read these 5 new members of the Boy Green Coffee Club right quick. Let's do that here on the program. All right, we've got KG131, Roughnecks, Aston Langley, GameCube for life. Oh, I love the GameCube. I got a GameCube over there. I haven't got the chance to dust it off in a while, but in due time. Crescent Moon. You guys all received Boy Green Coffee Club memberships thanks to your boy, Devin. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate you, sir. And we will update the scrolling ticker here in just a moment. So appreciate you. You're now in 3rd place, by the way, behind Old Yank and our number 1 Austrian Jet fan with 30 raffle tickets. We'll update that in a second. Let's go over to the phone lines. We have one of the buzzing YouTube channels on the internet space. It's none other than Snowball, baby, joining us here on the show. What's up, Snowball?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. And a nice shirt there.
Oh, thanks. You like it?
Yeah. One of us. One of us. That's beautiful.
That's it. Yeah. So I went to training camp yesterday. You said you hoped that I would call in and give my
100%. Yes.
spy report.
Yeah, please.
So, yeah, Glenn was pissed yesterday. Very visibly upset.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see him like pacing around, got the clipboard behind his back. Like, anyway, I wish I had something positive to say.
Oh, it was bad.
I do have some positives. I do have. Some
okay,
positives.
well, let me ask you this first. Because context, I guess, is important.
Mm-hmm.
Was it as the torrential downpour and monsoon that appeared from the outside? I was not there, so I can't speak to it. You were there, so you can. Was it as bad as people were talking about?
I was probably about 10 rows up off the field.
Yeah.
And it was misting. Like I could, it was like being in a mister. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
It was pretty, we were damp.
Okay.
That's for sure. And the roof, it gets those like pockets of water in it. And occasionally, you would get like a group of fans just go, ah, they would scream and like there would be so they got to fix the roof anyway.
I see. We'll work on that, but okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But Jermaine Johnson, I don't know what this guy did while he was rehabbing, but he came back and it looks like he's even bigger than he was before. He's a behemoth now. He's like gigantic. So, and as advertised, I mean, you can't tell that this guy is recovering from any type of an injury because in the backfield time and time again. So if you have any doubts about the recovery of Jermaine Johnson, put them to bed because this man is an animal and he is here to kill people. Honestly, like,
wow,
really?
Okay, because that's what I heard. I heard a few people say that like he was disruptive as hell in practice, already in team drills and making noise. I kept hearing a lot of that, so that's all true.
Amazing. Justin Fields, I wish I would have kept my camera out. Like if I would have, it was after practice.
Mm-hmm.
I was standing against the fence facing the facility, like the far side of the facility.
Yep, I got you.
If anybody's been to training camp. So it was just Justin Fields. He was alone on the field, right, by himself. He had one person next to him. And he was adjusting his helmet, and the guy was talking to him for some reason, and he was facing, like it was like a standoff. I was at the fence. He was directly in front of me.
How far? Would you say?
Far. Like,
okay.
If I would have shouted his name, he might have heard me. But
okay.
All right. But he was standing there, and it's raining, but I'm like in doofus. I just want to be there and like watch what's going to happen. So, and I guess the guy told him to start running, and he ran towards me. This man is the Flash. I mean, honestly, like I never really like saw real life speed of him, but he went from probably 100 yards away from me to like maybe like 10 yards in front of me in like the blink of an eye. He is as advertised, the fastest man I've like could give Brees a run for his money, honestly.
That's the thing that excites me because, again, I was watching the Jets practice show. They were talking about the rain and all that stuff, and they showed one of the things they did was because it was the final public training camp practice is at the beginning of training camp, all the Jets media reporters, there was Caroline Hendershot, Eric Allen, and a bunch of the people made like predictions. What's going to be the play of camp? Who's going to make it? What's it going to be? And all this stuff. And EA said it's going to be a Justin Fields run. And they put this clip up from, it was when they were at the Giants facilities for Jets Giant joint practice. And Justin Fields booked this like 80-yarder or something. And you see this sort of slow motion video of him running around and you can't really get a sense. I went, wow, that's crazy. So to hear your story now and to hear it and then play with a little bit of him in Madden, which has been a lot of fun. I'm like, hey man, it's just something we've never had before. So there's a tantalization. There is something about that I'm intrigued with because to your point, the full running at you and you sort of getting a sense of that, we're not going to get a sense of that in training camp. We're not going to get a sense of that in preseason. Like he's not going to be trucking through somebody or anything of that nature. And his preseason is probably over anyway. So we're not going to get any of that until the regular season hits. So to get sort of a sneak peek from you, that's exciting.
Yeah, he is lightning in a bottle, really. I wish I could say more about his passing capabilities. Between the hash marks, he's pretty decent.
Okay,
but
all right.
Outside, I mean, it was raining. Obviously, slippery ball. Like guys not going full speed, not trying to like slip on the grass or anything. But I said the grass, not their ass. But
yeah.
But anyway,
clarity on that,
right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, but. Garrett went up for one, right sideline, maybe about 5 yards out of bounds. Came back up and kind of like, listen, New York media, do not report this. Do not, he might have just been adjusting his jersey, but it looked like he held his rib for a second. Like he was like, and he kind of just like Garrett Wilson, but coming back a little slower to the I mean, he did go up about 6 feet in the air.
Yeah, sure.
Come down on his side. But other than that, okay. I will say Tony Adams, nice. Good day yesterday.
Oh, good. Good for Tony.
Real good day. Real good day.
Okay.
He was involved a lot. Braylon Allen is the future of our team at running back. Just plain and simple. You can just watch it happen. He's an animal. He's just, unstoppable. And Brees had some great runs.
Oh, good.
Great to see.
Okay.
And Donovan Edwards I'm not a member of the media, so, Donovan Edwards really doing well on kickoff returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said too. When I went to, I was going to go as a credential media member. It didn't happen. And then I'm like, I got an opportunity to go as a fan. And when I was in the stands, I'm like, I'm free. I can say whatever I want. We can say who's lining up where and all kinds of stuff. You're not allowed to do that as a media member. So technically being in the stands, I'm like, well, it's all free willy for me. So yes, that's good. Yeah. Edwards on kicker. I hope they find again, I was on Madden and, I'm going through the preseason. There's roster cuts and all kinds of things. I got to roster cut time and I'm sitting there and it's like, all right, Paul, eliminate 3 players. And I'm like looking and I'm going by position. I'm just like, and Donovan Edwards was literally the final cut. But I'm going through every position over and over again. Like, can I move this guy to practice squad? Can I do this? And I was just going through that decision that inevitably Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to make. And Donovan was the toughest one. I'm like, how do I fit it in? Brees Hall's making the team. Braylon Allen's making the team. Isaiah Davis is making the team. Kanan Guanu's probably making the team. Can I keep a 5th running back? Is that even possible? How do I convince myself? Where else do I take from the team? And I combed through the roster time after time after time. And I just couldn't. So I'm like, damn it, practice squad. Hopefully he makes it there. I just couldn't.
When you compare Kene and Donovan, right, who's more versatile in their position? So it's kind of like you're like splitting hairs, honestly.
For sure.
Yeah. So like that's a really tough decision. The Invisible Man yesterday was well, I don't see who was invisible, but not a lot of Ruckert.
Oh boy,
not a lot of Ruckert. So. And I can tell you that Malachi Corley has amazing dance moves.
Oh,
but that's
all right.
I was very surprised. They were running through like drills, positionary drills, and receivers are going, they're doing their thing, and like I don't know, there were like 2 minutes left in the drill, and he like took his helmet off and he was just standing on the sidelines, like listening to the music, dancing, like and I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if he's like nervous about what's about to happen or whatever, but like he was visibly trying to either mask something or whatever, but like you could see that he was like, out of everyone on the team, he was the one moving around the most. And me being a teacher, the one who fidgets is the one who I have to watch.
Yeah.
So he was fidgety. And I'll tell you, I like that kid Skinner.
Oh my God, he seems like such a good kid. Like I said, for those who don't know, I before training, so between mandatory minicamp and training camp, there's this big pocket of time nothing was happening. But I had overheard that Justin Fields actually organized an event and brought everyone down, and I was able to find out who was on the list. And I saw the list and I reached out to everyone on the list. I'm like, hey, would you talk to me for a story? And only a few people got back to me. And one of the people that got back to me is Quinn Skinner. He said, oh, I'll talk to you. And we did a full interview of breaking down every key. Where'd you guys go out to eat? What you guys do here? What was the script? What was the play script? Like, what were you guys doing? Like, because fans want to know. And we went all the way through it. And what a good kid. And then after I said, good luck in camp. You got a lot of people rooting for you. And he's just been making plays. And again, that's the same thing. Like, damn. How do you start splitting hairs between Brandon Smith and Quentin Skinner, this guy, Malachi Corley, or does Alan Lazar get traded? Is he part of this team? Is he not? He's hurt. So a lot of roster decisions. Quentin Skinner just seems like good people, man. I really hope he's one of those that we're rooting for. That'd be awesome.
Even when he wasn't in a play, you can just tell, like, helmet's always on, always focused on the field. And kind of like he's ingrained in the game. Like he is watching everything. So again, I wish him the best. I really see like him being a formidable player at some point in his career, whether it's with us or somewhere else. But I'd hate to lose him. Yeah. That's it. I'm on my way to Connecticut now. I got to go. But
beautiful snowball. Seriously. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just plug.
Please.
And again, I don't know if you're like, your kids aren't in school yet, but
right.
A middle school, high school thing, and I'll bring it into the thing, whatever. All right, tomorrow the Jets play, at 7, so we can't do the show at 7:30 because everyone's going to be watching the game. So for those who know, if you know, you know, our show will be on 6, 7. From 6 to 7, if you know, you know. All right? So,
if you know, you know. I'll just say this. Well, Snowball, in all seriousness, I appreciate you taking me up on my request to call in because it's so cool. Being at practice a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and being there, there's just so many observations you have that you can't possibly have from the outside, no matter what you read on Twitter or anything. So I truly appreciate you calling in and sharing it here on the show, my friend.
No problem. You're welcome.
There he is, Snowball, baby. Make sure you guys subscribe. Jets Worldwide, all one word. Wide. All one word. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Great people. Him and Johnny Boy. Absolute great people. Love it. 400 people in the room. Like the video. Hit subscribe, baby. 150 of the 400 are watching on Bleepin' YouTube. Let me hear your voice. People like the video. We have 73 likes right now and 140 people in here, double the amount. Make sure you guys make it rain from the high heavens. It's an exciting time to be a New York Jets fan. A freaking exciting time. And you should be excited. And great notes and quotes. Some things I like to hear from Snowball. Some things, Malachi Corley, sort of being lackadaisical, goofing around. I don't know the full context and everything else, but to hear that is disappointing. I was and am rooting for Malachi. I hope he makes the team and all this stuff, but the recent activity seems to suggest he's on his way out. He didn't play until the fourth quarter of the Giants game. That's concerning. And didn't make many plays. And now we got this Eagles game tomorrow night. Does not sound good to Malachi Corley, so we'll see. And as Ritsamini noted, he was the 65th overall pick last year. The other 64 picks ahead of him are all still on their teams. Malachi Corley would be the earliest cut of the 2024 NFL draft. That would be not ideal if he's handed his walking papers, but here we are. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on the show. A lot of fun today. A lot of fun indeed. We'll have Boy Green Meets Woody later today as well. We'll have another interview coming up on the Man Chud Show with Boy Green Digital if you guys want to hop over there as well, which should be a lot of fun, and we will see. And I see Jets Pro 100 here in our comment section. Once again, who is after Garrett? Nobody wants to answer that. I would say Josh Reynolds is that guy right now, but that's why maybe Darren Muji's cooking and another receiver to come at Jets Pro 100, which I believe is Jake. I believe that's Jake Klein, if I remember the name in my head. I believe that's Jake Klein. But either way, we'll see if there's more moves to come. If there is, we'll have more content here on the channel, and we'll check it out. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, hit subscribe, and also you can check out our 2 full trade article recaps in the YouTube description down below. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you again soon.